What's up, everyone? Welcome to What Say You with Progress Realty Partners. My name is Dan Salonis,
I'm Adam Dickert.
and we're also joined by Kimberly Bruno, the one and only Kim Bruno. Kim, how the hell are you?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for having me. Ready to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Speaking of questions, we got 4 questions. Count them 1, 2, 3, 4 from investors from different parts of the country. We get them in every week on our website, prp.us, or they just email us. So I know we got 4 lined up today. Kim, you got them in front of you. Feel free to spit fire whoever you want to start with. But what we got?
Okay. All right. So Phil from Florida wants to know, and I'm going to address this one to Dan. So Phil from Florida asks, how do you determine a property expense budget?
It's a really good question, actually. Okay. Phil from Florida. All right. So assuming you're talking about like a new acquisition, right? When we go under contract in our due diligence, we want to know as much historical financial information as on the property as possible. So trailing 12 months, trailing 3 years, trailing 5 years. We want to get a gauge for what are the typical expenses on this property. So when you're doing your budget, look at the historicals, ask for that information, and then really, make the calls out to those local third-party landscapers, garbage removal people, and get quotes from them. See what the prices are, and run your budget by the property management group. Ask them if they think the budget makes sense. But look into it, look at the historicals, and get some advice from other people involved too. That's what I would say in abbreviated form.
Okay.
Yep.
Adam, are you ready?
Lay it on me.
Question? All right. So Paul from New Jersey wants to know, why is industrial real estate so expensive?
Okay.
And it's expensive too.
Yeah. Paul must be a seasoned real estate guy. Either he's been tracking these prices or he just says, holy crap, who the hell can afford these things, right? But even prior to COVID-19, industrial is kind of on the up and up, right? Everything's cyclical in real estate. You look probably back in the early 2000s, industrial is probably one of the hotter asset classes, but COVID escalated everything. Everything going online. People are buying more and more stuff on Amazon. People are buying more e-commerce, having things delivered right to their door. And people, in short, need logistically warehouses to hold things in, whether it's the actual companies shipping them out like Amazon directly to consumers, places like Dick's Sporting Goods, all these huge retailers need more inventory. The people are doing more and more online business. They need to store things. It doesn't just come out of thin air, people. They have to physically have a location to hold their inventory. And that's a huge, huge catalyst for why it's so expensive right now.
Yeah, a lot of demand from tenants, a lot of demand from buyers, pushing prices up.
Perfect storm for compression of cap rates. My least favorite activity.
What do you got for me, Kim?
So Harry from Vermont. This is his question. Yeah. I have someone interested in a vacant space at my building, but wants a termination clause. Would you allow it?
Okay, so they want to lease a space at your property, but they want to include a termination clause. Yeah, would we allow it? Sure, but I'd say that with a caveat. Why do they want the termination clause? Right, dig deeper into what the ask really is. Do they want a termination clause because this is a stop gap in terms of location for them? They're looking to move somewhere else. Are they putting money into the space for their fit out? Because if they're putting a decent amount of money into the space, you get financial commitment, right? You get more of a commitment from the tenant. So the chances of them leaving, on a short notice are probably slim. You can include a termination clause. From our perspective, we wouldn't want one that's any less than 6 months, but get one that's maybe up to a year, 6 months to a year. But we don't have any problem with termination clause. Just find out the reason behind why they want it.
Yeah. Dig deeper.
Yeah. Ask questions.
Okay. Our fourth and final for Adam.
Here we go.
Lauren G. from Pennsylvania wants to know, how important are traffic counts?
That's all the question says?
How important are traffic counts?
Okay.
Love that.
Oh yeah, all right. So that's all right. I'm glad you left it open-ended then, Lauren. Depends on the asset class. Retail, very, very important. If you Starbucks, that's literally all they look for. Traffic counts. They look for certain direction of traffic, for morning traffic. Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, all big traffic count guys. If it's more of a multifamily deal, traffic counts aren't all that important if you're off the beaten path a little bit. If you're in downtown like Jersey City, maybe it's a little more accessible for moving in and moving out purposes. But it's huge for retail, kind of indifferent for multifamily. And for industrial, it's maybe not so much traffic counts, but accessibility to highways and the number of people. But for retail, which that's what your question is, it's very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have good visibility on the property, right? So, like you said, depends on the property type. It's a vague question, but yeah,
There needs to be like a 2.0 to that question.
Yeah, right. Well, guys, listen, that was 4 questions again with What Say You? We're Progress Realty Partners. My name is Dan Salonis.
I'm Adam Dickert. That's Kimberly Bruno.
I told you, that's Kim Bruno.
That's me.
We'll catch you guys next week when we got a couple of more questions and a few more answers.